Hello YouTube, I've come back to talk about something a bit different. So one of the other major topics I really want to be talking about, and that's about my life as a doctor, which has been less than a year, so I don't really have that much experience to talk from. And I don't really want to talk about my patients or about, I don't want to change the system or anything dramatic like that. I just want to talk a little bit about my personal experience and how it's been like for me, because I think there's been a lot of funny and intense things, and things I would just really like to talk about. I think the talking about will be really good for me. And so I'm going to start really lighthearted and talk about my two sort of facepalm moments. So the two biggest moments in my medical career, the whole 1 year, that have just sort of made me laugh at myself about how ridiculous they were. So the first one was when I was in medical school, and I've brought a prop. Hey. So in my first month of medical school, we had lessons with other doctors. So the doctors would show you how to examine a patient. And I remember particularly we had a patient and they were saying, all right, why don't you go ahead and have a listen to the patient's heart? And everybody had a listen, like all the other students. It was in smaller groups, and all the other students went ahead and had a listen, and everyone was like, yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I hear exactly what you're talking about. And when it was my turn, I grabbed the stethoscope that was available for everyone, because I didn't have one at that stage. I just grabbed the stethoscope and had a quick listen, and I sat there and I thought, I cannot hear a thing. It's not that I can't hear what the problem is, but I hear nothing, like absolutely nothing. To which I proceeded to go, yeah. What did you hear? And I went home that day and I thought, oh my goodness, I am totally over my depth. Like, I'm happy to study, I can study till my heart, I can study so hard every day, all day, but what if I just can't do the things that need to be done? What if I can't hear the person's heart and I can't feel the thing in their stomach that I'm supposed to be feeling? And I was so distressed, like pure distress. This is my first month. I've moved away from my family. I'm in this new city. I've committed to this new program. I've paid so much money. And I'm thinking, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this is beyond my capability. So I proceeded to go online, which is what any smart person does. And I bought the most expensive stethoscope I could find, because my thought was, look, I suck. I'm clearly the worst at this, so I am going to need as much help as possible, so I'm going to need to buy the best thing out there. So I bought this stethoscope, and I had to I think I paid extra for it to come early, keeping in mind that I was in incredible debt at the time. So I am so poor, but I'm like, I need the best stethoscope humanly possible, because I clearly suck. So I bought the stethoscope. I think I paid extra for it to come a bit quicker, and about a couple weeks later, the stethoscope arrived. I opened the box. It felt really cool, but still ashamed of myself for such a horrible doctor. And I opened it, and there was sort of like a little booklet, a little information booklet. And I'm so desperate for any assistance whatsoever. I went ahead and I read the information booklet, and I learnt that there is a back and a front to your stethoscope. So as you can see, they sort of have a bit of an angle, which means you can put it in your ears the wrong way. Basically, there is a wrong and a right way to put your stethoscope in your ears, and if you put it the wrong way, you won't hear anything. And then if you put it the right way, so it has to actually point forward, which I think is a bit counterintuitive. I feel like my ears go back, but the way it works this way. So if you put it so that you sort of point the earpieces are pointing forward, you can actually hear what's happening. And I sat in my room and I was so relieved. Also felt like such an idiot because ultimately the problem was I had my stethoscope on the wrong way. Yep, there we go. Good start. It was a really encouraging beginning to my medical career. And then more recently, I won't tell you how recently, because it's, again, embarrassing how recently this happened. I had a patient, and I had to stick my finger up their behind, which I've done a lot of times. I am looking for lots of different things. It doesn't matter. You don't care what I'm looking for when I stick my finger up there behind. But I did it, and then I had no idea what I was feeling. Like I put my finger in there and I was thinking, what is that? And I was so surprised by what I felt. Like I was so surprised. I didn't have a chance to, like do anything, try and pull it out or push it back in or try and do anything to figure out what it was. I just put my finger in and I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna come. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. And I went to somebody else and sort of asked, I'm feeling something weird and I don't know what it is, and I don't know what to do. Ultimately, in the end, I actually asked a surgeon, so I had to call a surgeon and be like, please, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with my patient, with regards to this particular thing that I felt, but I just don't know what it is. Please have a feel. And the surgeon, who I think in his head was just like, oh, the shame, came, had a look at my patient, stuck his finger in, came back to me and said it was poo. Yeah. I'm really optimistic about my medical career.